64. Psalm 64. Not even halfway through them yet. But we're finding some that are good and some that are just junk. So let me start with 64 here. And lights. And go from there. So here's 64. Hear my voice, Creator, in my complaint. In my complaint, preserve my life. In my complaint, I don't know, that almost is a long, looks like it should be cut in half. Preserve my life from the dread of the enemy. Be from the dread. Or their dread. My life from their dread. I don't know, that's kind of odd. In my complaint, hear my voice, Creator of my complaint. Hide me from the secret counsel of evildoers. Oh no, they're just talking about you. From the tumult of those who do iniquity, who have sharpened their tongue. Well, let's see, this was definitely a separate. Who have sharpened their tongue like a sword. Well, like a sword. They aim bitter speech as their arrow to shoot from concealment, can shoot from hiding. At the blameless. Suddenly they shoot at him and do not fear him. They hold fast to themselves in an evil purpose. They talk of lying snares secretly. They devise injustices. Saying we are ready with a well-conceived plot for their inward thoughts, and the hearts of men are deep, are corrupt, are not deep. They're not deep. For the inward thoughts, for their inward, for their thoughts. Just have to add the S. We know where thoughts come from, so we don't need the word inward. For their thoughts from their heart. For the thoughts from their heart are, but Creator will shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly they will be wounded. I don't think so. They will also make him stumble. Their own tongue is against them. All who see them will shake their head. Then all men will fear and declare. Then all men will fear. And declare the wonders of our Creator and consider what he has done. The righteous man will be glad in YV and take refuge in him. and all the upright of heart will glory. Yeah. Hear my voice, Creator. Hear my voice, Creator. Hear my voice. Hear my voice, Creator. In my complaint, I don't see the word in complaint. Preserve my life from the dread of my enemies, or my enemy right now, because this is like that. Okay, preserve my life from the dread of my enemy. Hide me from the hide me from those evil doers. Don't need the word counsel. Hide me from evil doers, from the tumult of those who do iniquity. I don't know about that. That just doesn't sound right. Hide me from evil doers. From those who do, and from those who do wickedness. I think we have something there. Hear my voice. I still don't like how to do that one. Have you who sharpen, I guess with an ed, who sharpened their tongue, who have sharp tongues. But that is, I'm not seeing that. I'm not. But it does hook to the second verse here. So, who have sharpened their tongue like a sword, and aimed, yeah, and aim their I don't know if the word bitter would be correct. Let's didn't turn that on yet. I don't think there would be bitters. I don't like the word bitter to be speech as they aim their bitter speech like arrows. I would say like arrows. And shoot. And shoot from concealment. And shoot from concealment at their blameless. Shoot at those. I don't get that. This, what the heck is that? You have a hard enough time reading it the first time when you're going through it. I'm looking at it several times. I don't get that. Because, let's see. I gotta. Let's get to 4. Okay. Now the first word I didn't like was, what was it? Bitter. Well, that was used bitter 15 times, bitterly 4, bitterness 11 times, and then fierce twice. When it's used double, it's great bitterness and greatly distressed. Bitter. They aim their bitter speech like arrows. From hiding places, concealment, secret places. They shoot from hiding. They shoot from hidings. And now, children of, or children at 12, but I'm trying to also make the text easy to read without having to go to a secular dictionary. They shoot from hiding at. Well, that's not going to be. Okay. At the peaceful, perfect one, guiltless, integrity. Those are all used like once or 2 times a piece, but blameless, they're using it like 6 times. So they shoot from hiding at are peaceful, at the peaceful. At the guiltless. I would say guiltless. In other words, they're attacking anybody to get to him. Is that right? LESS. And shoot from hidings and are guiltless. And I'm trying to figure out how that is really meant to be. When you're being attacked by an enemy, I don't see this. But if they're just raiding parties, such that there were raiding parties, hide me from raiders. Hide me from evil. And yeah, raiders would be like that. I think we got the right word here. We got raiders, not enemies. Enemy is someone I'm thinking would be a battle. But this, it sounds too close to those raiding and leaving. And they did raid the Philistines did raid the land of Judah and got close. Let me see if I know I've got that map just so I can say that, yes, I know what I'm talking about here. Well, let's see. I don't think it's going to be in this group, is it? No. Let me see if I can find it. Where would I look? Where do I have this? The old save. So, okay, here we go. Timelines. Joshua, Joseph to the Promised Land, Kings to Jesus. We'll see if it's in there. Here it is. Philistines, there were a small little area, and I have changed the order of these right here. And that's because this, when you look at the structures that are still there on the land, this is a large city, which means that's their capital city. And then this, when they fought at the time of Eli's son taking the chest and having it brought to the front for war, and that's the chest that I call the chest. The text will say ark, but the chest was brought and they lost it, and when they took it to their capital, then people started dying, so they moved it to another place. People started dying, then they moved it to another place, and then they sent it back into, I think, the area Dan. So they stuck it here, and then they brought it back to Shiloh. So, but you can see that this here was, they had that this was actually Judah's land, and then later, over, it seems like over a couple hundred years, they lost this piece, and this is when David comes onto the scene, and they're going to come. So this is a raiding party coming into Simon that's mentioned. Okay, and I think this is where this text is coming from, because there's no war here. So I'm seeing this because they suddenly shoot at them and do not fear. See that they were a raiding party, and you also have to understand when you get to Eli, there's years missing. There's quite a few years missing. Let me see if I can put this map with oops, I have to bring this down here, and I'll put that back into the, I'll put that into the maps, and then get back to the maps so I can get you this here and show you what I'm talking about. Oops, it probably needs to be a little bit larger. Then take it up to the top here. Okay. Here is 300, I'm thinking about 300 years missing. And that's because when we have Joshua going into the Promised Land, we have, I think, Aaron's son, I can't think of his name, he becomes the next judge for the land. Even though Joshua judges for the land, maybe he's the priest is now, the high priest is now advisor to Joshua, but there's nobody there. In the next judge that shows up is Eli. Now Eli, he has a problem because all of a sudden Israel is divided. The kingdom Israel has been divided into two kingdoms already. They're separated. The text just says that they're separated. And this is why they want a king made for them to lead them in war. So there's this, like other nations. So I can see that this constant losing of the land in here was all of a sudden, how can I say this, bothered Saul, or when Saul heard about this, because the king from below here had approached Judah to overtake Judah, and Judah said, well, if nobody's going to come to our aid, our brothers come to our aid, we can't fight you. So Saul got mad, and he went back and he went down here and he took care of it. And then he come back here later, and with David hearing about raiding parties when Saul was still king, he came in and started zigzagging across here trying to bring back the land for Simon. But this is the troubled times, but it also shows that this is not the first time that there is two kingdoms, and we don't know the story of the two kingdoms. I just know that I'm estimating 300 years. Could be 200 years. I just don't know. But the object is I feel after they got in the promised land that they were very strong as a people for a good couple hundred years, and then 100 years of falling away. But there's no evidence of anything. This is just my guess. But this is what I'm seeing here in this text, that they shoot from hiding at our guiltless. Suddenly shoot back at him and do not fear. They hold fast to themselves an evil purpose. I don't know if it needs more editing or not. They hold fast to themselves for an evil purpose. And that evil purpose would be to take back or take their land. I mean, they hold fast for an evil purpose. I don't think I don't think this needs to be here. They hold fast to an evil purpose. They talk of laying snares secretly. Laying, not snares, but pits. They used to build pits and cover it up to, a snare is just to entrap one, but a pit, you're killing people. They talk of laying pits secretly. And they say, who can see them? There we go. They devise injustice. Okay, I got to take a break real quick here. This may be a minute or two here. Okay. Let me get back in the seat here. Okay. They devise injustices, saying we are ready with a well-conceived plot. For their inward thoughts and their heart, men are deep. They aren't deep, these are evil. They're slowly taking over land. I'm pretty sure this has to be something like this. Might not be that particular area. Because we have so many years missing, it could have happened coming down from the top from Damascus. So it could be that information, and maybe the stories that the map that I showed you, maybe the bottom of Judah, maybe Judah had been eaten away at. It could have been from there. I just used the Philistines because of the way the David told them they were being raiding their land and bothering Simon. So the text would have meant that Judah would have been gone that part for a long time, and now they were starting to take over more. But that we have the text to. For their inward thoughts by their heart. No, I don't know. Our Creator will shoot at them with arrows. I don't think that is true. Suddenly they will be wounded. So they will. I'm not seeing this. Suddenly they were wounded. See, this would be our Creator sending, or David, when David was in Edom running from Saul, he asked our Creator if he's to go help them in Simon, and I believe he says go, and this is what happened. But that's missing here. They devise injustices, saying they devise injustices and well-conceived plots. They devise injustices with well-conceived. Yeah, let's get that back and get rid of this. Because if you with well-conceived plots, I'm saying these are raids, so it's just not one, because it's injustices, it has to be plots, and then that is separate. This goes with this up here, because this seems to be divided. This seems to be divided. But our Creator sent David here, and suddenly they were wounded. Their raiders had stopped. So I guess if there's any place going to put the text corrected to make the story flow, it has. Whoops, what happened there? That seems to be a larger font now. Yeah, it went to 12, so a macro did that, and it changed the text that there. So, but our Creator sent them with arrows. Instead of the word shoot, I don't think this word is going to be tied to sent. But it has to do with archers. Archers was used 5 times, but it used as to taught or teaches more than 35 times, well, about 30 times. Instructions a few times, but it does say shoot, and it does use as archers 4 times. And if this were writing by Saul, he wouldn't admit that it was David. But our Creator sent our archers. Yeah, I would say instead of we'll shoot, our Creator sent our archers. Or our archers, just the words archers without our Creator would be more. Whoops. Let's try to get this back in here. But our archers. Archer with their arrow. But our archers with their arrows. Their arrows. But our archers with their arrows. They were wounded. I'm trying to see where that all man will fear. Trying to find out where this cuts off or changes. Okay, there, and there. Okay, let's see if that works. But our archers with arrows. How does that, because well, this we can just get rid of here altogether. It's their thoughts have already been discussed. They devise injustice with well-conceived plots. That would just be 2 long verses, but how do you adjust their deep? That their inward thoughts are nothing but hatred for us. So what we have here is our archers with arrows. Wasn't our I know the story about David being sent. I'm just trying to say that that can't be stuck in here. But I sent our archers. See if I put, but if I just put I sent as if the king was writing this, and then it would be I sent our archers with their arrows. Suddenly they were wounded. Which means they stopped them, because archers would be shooting at a distance and they wouldn't be like a fighting force. They would have been like against a raiding party sitting in ambush waiting for them. So suddenly they were wounded. So they will make him. So they made them stumble. So they caused them to slow down at what they're doing. So they made them, I guess, to stumble. We're going to do a cleanup a little later. I think what the verses are here now. Their tongue is against. Now their own tongue made them to stumble. And now their own tongue. See, they said that the archers must have picked up quite a few. Whoops. Got to where they stopped the raiding parties, to where their raiding parties weren't in those setting up the pits, are now arguing with each other, is where I can see this. Now their own tongues are an argument, are against, now their own tongues are against them. This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't go through. This is almost like a split here. So they made them to stumble, and now their own tongues are against them. All who see them will shake their head. Then all men will fear. No, this is a separate. We have pieces. This piece we can see here, because it flows with this. If I preserve our life, preserve our lives, from the raiding party. So we have preserve our lives from the raiding parties of our enemies, from the raiders. I'm thinking that would be preserve our lives from the raiders, from our enemies. From our enemies. From our enemy, I guess. Enemies could, well, this note, because when they sent the archers, so it's talking about one. And this is not, this is just stuck in there as a starting point. They just grabbed a part of the verse, they just added that to what we now know is a raiding party that's going on here. From the look of sharpen their tongue. I can see that this is like that, and then and this here doesn't need to be needed. Hiding and guiltless, they hold fast to an evil purpose. They talk of laying. They hold fast to an evil purpose. Now they make laying pits secretly. They talk of laying pits secretly and say who can see them. They devise in. Okay, that's enough there. But down here, this is, we do have one side of the story. We don't have the other side here. This or the other. This just is not connecting. This is a different part, or from someplace else. And all who see them will shake their head, that all men will fear us, them, and declare the wonders of their Creator and consider what He has done for us. The righteous man will be glad in YV, take refuge in Him. See, this is definitely a different piece from someplace. I can see just this. All who see them will shake their head, then all men will fear YV and declare the wonders by their Creator. By the Creator, and consider what He has done for us. The righteous man will be glad in YV and take refuge in Him, all the upright in heart. But, are you, okay, I'm going to do a cleanup here on this. And I think this, because I told you about the word glory is something that is the heart, your ability, not your ability, when you obey our Creator the way He wants us to obey Him, then it is our glory that we speak of Him. So the word glory is being used wrong here by this person as the writer. Heart will have, in the upright in heart will glory. No, this is, I'm going to remove this, even though it might be a piece from here, but let me do this here. Control copy, put it in here, and then say we want the 8 points to be gone, so I choose that, and then I replace all of it, and then I double space here, no forebanding, then replace all that, get rid of that, then close that. Control copy. Toss this out, and I think you've seen this routine before. And then down here, I'll paste it in, clean up a little bit. I can see the words are okay, but let's take care of the green. Now let's, and like I said, this part is the second part, so this is just going to be in yellow to say that, hey, we've know that that doesn't go with the text. And then starts out rough, but the object is okay, that did hook together with something there. Okay, now let's see if we can read this together and say, is this a good format? Whoops, let me put that up there. Preserve our lives from the raiders, from our enemy. Hide me from evildoers, and from those who do wickedness, who sharpen their tongue like a sword, and aim their bitter speech like arrows, and spears from and shoot from hiding at our guiltless. They hold fast to an evil purpose. They talk of laying pits secretly, and say, who can see them? They devise injustices and well-conceived plots. But I sent, still gonna need that word, but with our archers and arrow. But our archers with their arrows. Maybe get rid of the word I completely. Let me get rid of it up here. And just say this will be the cleanup right here. So I think this is, but our archers with their arrows, suddenly they were wounded, so they made them to stumble, and now their own tongues are against them. That's a piece from a raiding party or a king or even a judge. I think it would be from a judge, because archers, certain tribes has specialties, okay? They some were archers, some were slingers of stones, so the archers would have been the ones, and I'm sure that they were setting up ambushes. So that's how this text cleans up. I think we did pretty good with that one. I don't know how I'm going to name it, but it's almost done. So on to the next one.